What is this? Episode 5. I just like to thank God that my childhood wasn't a waste. That all that work I put into all those meaningless activities didn't actually end up meaningless in my life, end up just a complete waste of time. Knowledge is power, understanding is skill. So, all those little activities I was doing way back when, especially video games, what I'm going to talk about now. Obviously, the rank in a video game doesn't matter. The amount of kills you got or amount of times you died or whatever the case is, that who cares? All your battle stats, who cares? It was the principles and it was certain skills that you develop while playing the game that you could use to advance yourself in real life. Now, if you didn't know, now you know. One of my favorite games ever, if not my favorite game, let's be real. This is for me, so. My favorite game ever, Black Ops 2, right? Call of Duty. You start off playing COD, and you're trash, obviously, and you work to get better, and you go through all these different stages, you play all these different game modes, all these different guns, and you get nice. But you get to a point, if you're competitive, that you're too good to play with regular public match people. You want to play with people who are at your skill level or way higher. And that's why there's a different game mode where sweats, people who have no life, nerds, losers, we go here and we play with each other. But this goes for anything in life. When you're surrounded by people who are of the same mind as you, who are striving for the same goals, who have the same love, you guys will grow together. Obviously, there comes a time to move on from the game, to move on from whatever you're doing, and to live your life. But there's still a lot of gems, a lot of tools you can use that you learn with those people to help you in your real life journey. So when I went on to go play with these sweats, it's 4v4. And you're playing and you're using your same tactics that you had back when you're playing with the regular people. You're complaining when you die and you're screaming and you're mad when you lose and you're just switching up your class setup trying to figure out what works. Having a bunch of attachments and you're blaming your teammates. But then wisdom comes in and you start looking at the better players. You go on YouTube and you watch the really good players. What are they doing that I'm not doing? How are they just not dying? How are they successful almost every game? There has to be a method. There's always a method. It's not about what you do, it's how you do it. Because that method can translate into a lot of different things. So, I'm looking, and the key feature that people do, especially in Call of Duty, is they always use their map. They're always looking at their map. Right? They're always using their map. You realize that every single time you're in a match 6v6, 4v4, but every single time they verse someone or they're in a battle, it's always a one-on-one. It's never they're getting shot from behind, shot to the side. Because they're always looking at the map, but the map doesn't show where the enemy is. They can see off their screen, their first person, what they can see. You also know the direction and position of your teammates. And based on what your teammates are doing, you can see what the enemy's doing. That's also important for real life too. But that's another topic. Regardless, by looking at your teammates, your friends, people around you, their direction and their position in life, you can see the tactics of the enemy and how they plan to stop you. And you can learn from their wisdom. All right, that's what's going on over there, whatever the case is. Now, we didn't know what we were doing back in the day when we were young. But when you start playing with the sweats and you're playing 4v4, everyone always says call out, call out, call out. Which means if you're playing and you see you're about to engage with two enemies, you say, yo, two enemies to the left over here. You kill one and you're shooting at the other one and you die, yo, dropped one and one's one shot. One's about to die, one's weak, going straight, going into the house, the blue house. Everyone's calling out, oh, one's over here at the pool, one's over here, one's over there. What we're doing is we're creating our own map. Like, it doesn't show the enemy's position on the map unless they're shooting or unless you got a certain kill streak. But by us calling out, now we know the enemy's position, our position, and we see everything through communication. So now the enemy turns the corner and they're dead right away, but they don't even know who's shooting at them. They're just dead because we're aware. We have more knowledge than them. That's why communication is actually important. It's not every day you talk about nonsense. Call-outs. It also teaches you to not waste time with negative emotions. It's ironic because people will start losing in a game and they'll start complaining and they'll start getting in their emotions. But the more you get in your feelings, the further you go from victory. You start branching off and you're even further and further and further away. Like, if you actually wanted to win, you wouldn't get caught up in your emotions. You wouldn't get really, really upset. You would just call out and stay quiet and let your other team focus and you focus on your next move. The more you get into your emotions, the more life goes away from you. You start losing your mind. What you actually need to accomplish your goals. Teaches you communication, not to waste time. Call-outs. You build a certain level of trust in your teammates that even though I mess up, I know someone's going to come and fill in for me. I'm letting you know what's up. And in turn, I want you to tell me what you see. So now you have more than one eyes. The thing is, in life, everyone's thinking. Everyone's facing challenges. Everyone's thinking. And everyone loves to talk. I'll tell you that right now. Everyone loves to talk. Including myself. No action, all talk. We're all talking. But there's wisdom. People are calling out. People are telling you what's ahead. We try to do this life thing alone, but everyone's calling out. The only reason why we're not where we're supposed to be is because we're not listening. Oftentimes, a lot of times, damn near every time you run into a problem in life, you've heard the solution before. People have told you don't touch the stove, but you still touched it because as a kid you said, I don't believe you. You didn't say it out loud, but you said it with your actions. I don't believe you. We have a certain sense of pride that allows us, that grants us the ability to not hear callouts. If you were blessed to grow up with a mother, grow up with a father, grow up with grandparents, to have friends around you, to have cousins, to have the ability to talk to strangers and get to know people, You've heard all types of call-outs in life. You listen to your teachers, it doesn't matter what they're talking about. Any type of knowledge can turn into call-outs. That's where discernment comes in. And that's when you start to hear God. A lot of people know about that story where the person was like, God save me, God save me. And he was drowning in the ocean. The boats came by. No, don't worry, God will save me. And then he died. God, where were you? I sent boats. You're trying to hear God. God does speak to you. But don't think that he thinks the same way you do, that, oh, if God speaks to me, it's going to be in this certain type of way. No, 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 no. God might be giving you gems of your life, the next steps to your greater purpose, but it's coming from your worst enemy. It's coming from a person who you feel like you're better than, that you look down on, so you won't hear them. It's coming from a little child. Call-outs can come from anywhere, and when you have discernment, you can hear God in people. Doesn't matter if they don't hear it. A lot of people have the Spirit. A lot of people have their purpose, everything they ever want inside. They just don't hear it. They just don't know that it's there. But it comes out, and you can hear people talk. You ever have conversations with people, and you're just like, yo, this guy is spitting facts right now. If he listened to his own advice, do you know where he would be in life? But that's not your problem. Listen to him. Because that's God speaking through him. He doesn't even hear it himself. God is calling out through us all. If only we learn to listen. Adults tell you something. You don't have to follow their direction in life. You don't have to do exactly what they do, but they're telling you problems that they've encountered in their life in the future. And if you start working on those now, if you start hearing the solutions and adding it to your life now, when you get to those points in life, you're going to breeze through it. All these different enemies you're seeing on your map now, the awareness, the knowledge that you have, it's just building your world. We're only living our life through our eyes. There's so much we can experience, so much we can see. Everyone's going through all these wild, different things, all these different adventures, but we're all human. One way or another, all our lives connect. And the way you cannot live this life alone, the way you could move, even if you think you're alone, even if you think it's just you and God, it's way more than that. Once you allow someone to change your life, once you allow yourself to listen to somebody, you don't have to listen to exactly what they're saying, exactly what they're telling you to do. Not direction, but gems. Just those little diamonds that they're dropping, just pick those up. Now all of a sudden it's not a 2-on-2 or a 2-on-20. Feel like you're fighting all types of demons, all types of enemies, all types of obstacles by yourself. Now there's a bunch of people who live inside of you. Their wisdom, their love, their heart, their connection that they've made with you is inside. And now your team is a lot larger than you think. Now you're moving with confidence because it's not just you. You're weak because you rely on yourself and don't allow others to help you. Help yourself. Help yourself by taking the wisdom. Certain things that make others special, take that. Listen to them. Give others your attention. And treat them with a certain level of respect, a certain level of honor that will allow the information to flow inside of you. All you have to do is be present in another person's life, and they will present to you. Your presence is a gift. A lot of people don't care about nobody. Nobody cares about no one. So if you come around and you just show someone that you care, they'll give you so much knowledge that you wouldn't even understand. Just be grateful. Oftentimes it's better to forgive people. What use is it hating them? You're missing out on gems, bro. Like, what use is it hating them? Honestly, who cares about them? It's the God inside of them. It's that spirit that they don't know they have. That's what I'm trying to listen to. That's the call outs I'm trying to hear. I've seen it in others, also in myself. It's a trope in a lot of shows, actually, where the main character is stuck. He's in a pinch, a serious pinch. Serious pinch. I'll use Tanjiro as an example. If you know, you know. But when he was fighting the first ever moon demon, one of the 12, and he was about to die, but he needed to save his sister, so failure is not an option. And he thought to himself, call outs, call outs, call outs. And you can see all the different call outs in his life. He's thinking about call outs. What? Like, I've heard about this enemy before. I've seen this obstacle in the past. Someone's already told me how to defeat this. And he remembered his dad. Parents are a blessing. Family is a blessing. Friends are blessings. Enemies are blessings. Betrayal is blessings. All of these are lessons. Call outs for your life. And he remembered something his dad taught him. And he used that. And he got through the situation. Not through his own strength, but through wisdom. Allowing another person to help him. It's important, man. The more people we hold grudges against and we hate, the less opportunity you have for God to speak to you or just to learn what to do next when you're stuck or don't know which way from where you're standing. Always listen for call outs.